You know, we're all told to be strong, right? To stand up for ourselves. But what if one of the most common ways we try to show that strength, by holding a grudge, is actually making us weaker? Let's dive into this really powerful mistake that, let's be honest, we're all tempted to make. So let's just get right to it. Is forgiveness a sign of weakness? It's a question that puts our modern ideas about self-respect up against some pretty timeless wisdom. I mean, our culture today often screams yes, but the real answer? Well, it's way more complicated, and honestly, it's far more important for our own well-being. And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the two mindsets at war here. On one side, you have the modern belief. Holding grudges equals strength. It's about being impenetrable, defined by our past hurts. But on the other side, you've got this more virtuous view, that real growth comes not from holding on, but from letting go. This is the choice we're going to unpack. All right, so let's start with that popular modern view. Why do so many of us see holding on to anger not as a burden, but as, well, as a badge of honor?
The logic kind of goes like this. By refusing to forgive someone, you're drawing this non-negotiable line in the sand. It's seen as an act of radical self-respect, right? A declaration that your boundaries are rock solid. And in an age of personal empowerment, you can totally see why this framing is so appealing.
So, okay, that's the theory behind it. But what does this mindset of resentment actually look like when it plays out in our lives and in our culture? And honestly, you see this stuff everywhere. It's in the grudges that can last for years, just poisoning relationships. It's in that quick impulse to cancel someone for a single mistake. At its very core, it's the act of clinging to that resentment like it's some kind of precious, thorny jewel, believing it's a shield when it's really just a weight. But this brings us to a really crucial turning point. We've talked about why holding on feels so powerful. Now we have to ask the hard question. What is this so-called strength actually costing us? And this is the question that changes everything. Because holding on so tightly feels like an act of power. It really does. But is it actually making us stronger? Or is it maybe, just maybe, slowly breaking us from the inside out? Oh, I love this quote. It just completely flips the script. We think our resentment is this weapon we're aiming at someone else. But what if it's not a weapon at all? What if, like this says, it's actually the bars of a cage that we are unknowingly building around our own hearts? And that leads us straight to the alternative. If holding on is a cage, then what's the key? This next part is all about the true power that's found not in holding on, but in letting go. And here it is, the crucial reframing of what forgiveness is. Notice, it has nothing to do with weakness or surrender. No, it's an active, powerful choice. It's a key that frees the other person, sure, but way more importantly, it's the only key that can unlock your own cage and allow you to heal. This is so important because it clears up one of the biggest misconceptions out there. Forgiveness isn't about saying, hey, what you did was okay. It's not about letting someone off the hook. It's about recognizing that the resentment is a hook that has caught you, and you are making the powerful choice to set yourself free from it. Okay, so if forgiveness is a choice, how do we actually make it? I mean, this isn't about just flipping a switch in your brain. It's more like walking a path. Let's look at the actual steps anyone can take toward healing. And here's what that path can look like. First, it starts internally. It's a private decision to free yourself from that bitterness. This first step, it's just for you, nobody else. Then, from there, you can start to seek your own peace, separating your well-being from them. And only then, if it's safe and if it's right, can you even think about building bridges. See? It's a journey, not a single leap. So, let's end with this thought. We all build walls of resentment to protect ourselves, right? But after looking at all this, it's worth asking, what would happen if we saw those same stones not as parts of a wall, but as the raw material to build a bridge? What walls in your own life could you, with great strength, begin to turn into bridges?